as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away. Cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe.
Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already we're live. And as you guys can tell by title and thumbnail, oh god, I forgot it on my freaking lighting out here. Let me just on that real quick. There we go. And then I'm just gonna decrease this just a tad bit from here. And that looks actually kind of good. Okay, this does not look good in the other hand. Can I just grab my charger from back there? There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and charge this. And yeah, we are 15 minutes late today. I got a bit busy midway. I thought that I'm gonna be having an early stream today, but never mind. Okay, hold on. Let me just go a little bit more back. There we go. Then can I increase the lighting or is -6 good? I think -6 is good, right? Yeah, I'm gonna decrease my gain just a tad bit. Just to give it a good little contrast. There we go. And then let's hit okay. Perfect. Okay, already we're live. And as you guys can tell by why did this come in? There we go. Okay, and as you guys can tell by title and thumbnail, today is day 69 of my AI Engineering for 365 Days series, where my goal by the end of this series is going to be to build an agentic AI, hopefully using LLMs to get the job done. That said, last stream I did work a bit on chunk 5 and chunk 6, but I was not really done with those chunks. Therefore, this stream I will be continuing those chunks and hopefully being done with them. That said, let me go to my gameplay screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then let me say, and yeah, this is a brand new Clouds chat. I want to be done with my face one so bad, and guys, I want this to be a bit more in front, actually. There we go. Okay, I just wanted it to be straight. That's right. Okay, there we go. My OCD was kicking in. Let me say something like "Sensei" and live exclamation. And yeah, this is a brand new chat. There we go. Okay, and today, no matter what, I want to kind of be done with both my phases. If Cloud sort of lets that happen for that. That said, alright, it's day 69, it actually is. Last session, you were mid-battle with Olympic.ini and you left before confirming whether your fix even stuck. That's exactly where we're picking up. No drifting, no jumping ahead into shiny new commands until we verify what's already touched actually landed. What you already touched already landed. Well, actually landed. Here's the deal for today. First, we confirm the script_location typo fix actually got saved in a real file. Then you write the real SQLAlchemy.url line yourself, Postgres real password, localhost, yada yada. Then, brand new command, taught you from scratch the actual migration generation command. Then we run it for real against your database and make sure Alex now survives. Let's go. Open Olympic.ini in Visual Studio Code right now and paste what the script_location line actually says currently. Exact text, don't summarize it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab Visual Studio up here real quick. And yeah, I did work a bit on this last stream, although I did not work on it at all off stream. Wait, do I just type this? There we go. Let me just go ahead and get this out here. Wait, hold on. I'm just going to delete the terminal. Or clean the terminal and then paste this. Fail directory LMB exists and it's not empty. It exists and it's not empty. What are we doing today? Actually, today I am continuing where I left off last stream. And I'm going to be picking up chunk 5 and chunk 6. Hopefully gonna be done with everything before the day 70th mark, and as soon as it's the day 70th mark, I want to start with my mini project and also be done with the mini project, and starting from day 71, which is the after tomorrow, work with phase 2, that is math and machine learning. Let me send this and say, I get this error. Hey, I'm new to this channel. First stream ever, so what's your name? Alright, I don't know much about first stream ever, but this is the day 2 of you asking my name. Ask my name for, let's say, the next 23 streams, and I will type it out. Okay. Whoa, hold up. Stop right there. Look at what you just typed. PY-M limbic init Can we all just forget? I made this mistake last stream. I fell for it this stream as well. Hold on. Gonna go with Control C, and then we're gonna go with this. We're gonna paste it and add that to be a limbic. Alright, let me go with that real quick, and then I'm gonna go up here, and then let's just go ahead and change this, because no one needs to know that I actually changed it. Only difference is I made a silly mistake, the same as last stream. Stop, look at what you just did before we even talk about the error. I asked you to open the file and paste me the line. You ran Olympic, okay. Good news, the error itself is a healthy sign, not a disaster. Directory exists, okay, in plain words. What is this error message actually yelling you about? The state of your project now. It tells me that Olympic already exists. There we go, and then I'm gonna go ahead and send it. Okay, correct, but half credit, that's the surface reading. Push one level deeper. It's not just saying Olympic exists as some abstract fact. It's specifically telling you it exists and it's not empty. Why would Olympic care whether the folder is empty or not before letting you init it? Why does that imply about what's already sitting in Olympic? Hashtags this folder right now. Because if the folder, let's go with something like does not exist, the init would initialize the folder on my disk, else it would not. There we go, and then let's send it. And I had a tiny little typo there, not quite, yada yada. Okay, I feel like we're going in the wrong direction. Go open alembic.ini and paste. Okay, you know what? Yeah, screw that. I did the same exact mistake last stream as well. I'm just gonna paste this here. I'm not gonna be going into any of the detailings before I don't really think that Claude is on the same page, or Claude gets me Claude tries to get me to know every single micro mini detail that I do not really need to. Okay, script underscore location equals to hashtag here, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is where we stopped last stream. Okay, that's clean, no typo. The fix from last session actually stuck. That's the one thing. Off the table verified with the real evidence instead of just trusting your memory of what you did. That's the right instinct every time. Don't assume check the file. Now, line 2 of that section, right underneath it, SQLAlchemy.url equal to driver. User pass at localhost/database name. Still sitting there exactly as it was, untouched. This is your job now. Before you type anything, tell me in plain words. The 4 pieces for real information. The 4 pieces of real information that need to replace the 4 fake placeholders in that driver, user password, localhost, DB name, and what each one becomes for your setup. Specifically, don't write the line yet, just tell me what goes where and why based on everything you already logged down about your setup last session. Okay, so localhost is going to be 5432. Password is going to be password. Database is going to be my database. Okay, driver. So it's going to be PostgreSQL colon //. And then I'm going to go with something like user is going to be Postgres. Password is going to be fake password. At localhost is going to be 5432 /database is going to be my database. There we go. And then this is going to be SQLAlchemy.url. There we go. And then I'm going to go with something like equals to, and then we're going to go ahead and send it. Okay, close. Genuinely close. And I can see you pulled up the right piece from memory, but hold on. Don't paste that into the file yet, so walk through it with me first. Because there's a structure, there's a structural piece, not just the password. Look at the generic template again, driver user pass local slash database name. Count the pieces between at and database name. There are actually two things in the original and your version only has one. What comes right after at in the template and what comes after that before the terminal slash db name. We need our password. I need a password. However, I did not want to type my actual password out on chat. Therefore, let's go with something like I added a placeholder. Okay, and then I guess let's send it. Bro, what's going on? I think this was a previous chat, right? Okay, good, smart move and correct. That's exactly rule 3 in action. Real database password never gets shown in chat on stream. You don't type that here. You type it straight into the file in Visual Studio Code. Nice catch, no corrections needed there. But that's not what I'm pointing at. Look again, I'm not asking about the password. I'm asking about what's between and the database name template at localhost slash db name. Yours is at 54321. You drop localhost entirely and put 54321. But 5432 is your port. You told me that yourself last session, PostgreSQL 18, port 5432. A port and a host name are two different pieces of information, and URL needs both in a specific order. Where does the host name localhost go? And where does 5432 go? My bad. 5432 is port. There is no port asked here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. We're gonna go ahead and paste that. This is gonna be, what was my local host called? Local. There we go. Slash data, my database. And then I'm gonna send it. Make sure everything's going good here, and then I'm gonna do that, and then go there. There we go. Okay, better you got localhost back in the right spot. That's real progress. Don't undersell that. But now you drop the port entirely. It's not there anywhere anymore. You have at localhost, my database, port 5432 needs to exist in this string somewhere. Where does a port number go relative to a host name? Think about it like a house address. Localhost is the street, but you also need what comes after a host name to specify which door on that machine you're knocking on. I did not have a placeholder for a port. Therefore, I did not know where to add it. Then I'm just gonna go pull my legs up real quick. Guys, this place gets too stiffy because I'm in my closet right now. Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna go back here. Okay, fair. That's honest, and I'd rather you say I don't know. Fair, then yes. Okay, that's the right call. Here's the piece you're missing. A port is in a separate placeholder because it's not always. Okay, because it's not always required, but when you need one, it attaches directly to the host name with a colon. Same pattern as user pass colon glues two related things together. So it shapes host name colon port, which means localhost 5432 becomes localhost 5432. Glued together with a colon. Same way Postgres and your password gets glued together with a colon. Now, put it all together, give me the full line, all four pieces, port included this time. Okay, so apparently what we gotta do here is that if I were to copy this stuff, we have localhost and then we need to give our port to after the colon. So 5432. Then we're gonna go ahead and send it. Okay, that's it. Okay, that was a new thing, knowing about the port as well. There. You know what, I changed my mind. Okay, oh wow, that's so much better. Okay, and then every piece is in the right slot, driver username, password, host, port, database. You did get it in one shot, but you did not need to. You isolated exactly what was wrong each time. Missing port, wrong slot, colon glued. Instead of just re-guessing randomly, and that's the actual skill there. Connection strings are everywhere once you start deploying real things, okay? You'll write dozens of these across the rest of the roadmap. This wasn't a waste of time, it was one time it needed to be slow. It was the one time, oh, I see. Now, go type that real line into your actual alembic.ini with your real password, swapping into the fake password. Do it in Visual Studio, save the file. Once it's saved, tell me don't paste the real line back to me, just confirm it's saved. We move on to the next real piece. All right. I'm gonna just copy this to save some time. And yeah, we will be leaving our, hold on. I'm gonna just exit that. There we go. We're just gonna leave this to be the fake password for now. I'm gonna set it to be the real password when I really need to have it to be the real password. Okay, let me say done saving it. And since I am doing this live on stream, I still have a placeholder saved for my password. However, before we run anything, just let me know that I need to change it. I will turn my screen off from, or actually, I turn my screen off. What the hell? I will hide my screen from OBS and write my password. There we go. You just gotta say that to Claude for being safe and also a bit precautious. That said, good call. That's rule 3 exactly. And honestly, smart operational habit is not just rule you're following because I said so. Placeholder stays in the file until you already go to hands down off stream for 10 seconds. Swap it, then come back. I'll flag it cleanly before we run anything that actually needs a live connection. Fair flag now before we run the migration against your real database. Later this session, you need to hide your screen from OBS, type the password. We're not there yet. Don't do it this second. We still have teaching to do before that command even exists. Onto the new territory. You've genuinely never touched the migration generation command. Quick concept check. Since this builds directly on what you already know, you learned that last session, that Alembic track structure changes and save steps. Here's the thing you haven't been told yet. Alembic doesn't magically know what changed in your models.py. It has told to look, compare, and write down what's different. There's a flag for that, hyphen auto generate, which tells Alembic to go compare my actual database structure against what my model.py says. It should look like says what it should look like and tell me a migration file describing the difference. Hold on. Because wondering how back can this be. Oh wow, that's so much better. Hold on. There we go. Oh wow, that's actually kind of good. You know what? I take it back. Can I just go back? There we go. Nope, it's not that good. I thought that was going to be kind of comfortable. It's not. There's a flag for that hyphen hyphen auto generate, which tells Alembic go compare my actual database structure against what my model.py says it should look like, and writes me a migration file describing the difference. Before I show you the actual command syntax and plain words, what do you think Alembic needs to compare against what in order to generate that migration file automatically? Two specific things you already know both of them earlier. Limbic, what do you think Limbic needs to compare against what in order to generate a migration file? It needs to compare one file and a foreign key. Okay, wait, now mine. That was a guess. I do not know. Okay, good you said I did not know instead of forcing a guess to sound right. That's exactly the instinct we want. Let's rebuild it from the stuff you already know instead of asking me to handle it, asking me, just handing it over. Think back to day 67, which was the before yesterday. You did this exact same comparison manually by hand and your own eyes before Olympic ever entered the picture. You pulled up your real models.py, looked at students' class, and confirmed out loud students.name is the only primary key now. Is the only primary key right now. No separate ID column exists. What were you comparing in that moment? On one side, you had models.py, the Python code describing what the table should look like. On the other side, what you comparing against? Not a foreign key. Think about what Python code is describing of. One side, you had your models.py, the Python code describing what the table should look like. Okay. Oh, so we compare our Python code from our freaking. Okay, let me just type it out. We compare our Python code and our database. There we go. Yes, that's exactly it. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get my freaking sock off. Like, I'm burning out here, to be honest. And this place is too stiffy. Hold on. There we go. Oh god, that was the hardest thing because I can't really move too much because I got like a bunch of lightings here and all that stuff. That said, yes, that's exactly it. Oh guys, that feels so much better. And why did I open Instagram by mistake? There we go. Oh yeah, that feels much better. There. Yes, that's exactly it. Two things side by side. Models.py. Your Python code. The blueprint of what the table should look like. Okay, the actual database. My database. What the table really looks like right now, today for real. Okay. And then hyphen hyphen auto generate is a limbic doing exactly what you did by hand on day 67. Comparing blueprints against reality, except now Olympic does the comparing automatically and writes down the difference as migration file instead of you eyeballing it yourself. That's the whole concept. You already understood the job. Okay, you already understood the job before I even showed you the flag. You just didn't know Olympic had automated it. py-m Olympic and then revision, auto generate, hyphen M, and then we got primary ID key to students. Break that down piece by piece. Okay, before we run it, you already know py hyphen M, you already know revision. Sounds like it's making new migration steps. You already know hyphen hyphen auto generate from what we just built. You know the hyphen M. Okay, you know. Okay, where I read that stuff? What the hell? You already know py hyphen M. You already know revision. Sounds like it's making a new migration step. You already know hyphen hyphen auto generate from what we just built. What do you think about the hyphen M at primary key to students part of it? Think about what else you've seen as short message hyphen M, some message pattern before different two, same shape. Did I not understand the question? Hyphen Olympic. I do remember this part because this is the part that I did actually work with. And then we got revision. Okay, hyphen hyphen auto generate, and then we got M, and then add primary key to students. Can I get this a little bit back? Okay, so what am I missing here? Hold on. I think I just didn't read this properly, right? Break down that piece by piece. For me, before we run it, you already know py hyphen M. You already know revision. Sounds like it's making a new migration step. That does make sense. You already know hyphen hyphen auto generate from what we just built. Actually, I don't really know, but it makes sense. What do you think hyphen M at primary key to students part is for? The add primary key is for making sure that everyone has a unique key. And also, can you explain the entire code to me, question mark? Or was it called like an entire code block to me? Something like that. Hold on, you jump straight into guessing. Oh, what's that? What's the message mean at primary key to students instead of what the hyphen M flag does structurally? Okay, I'm not asking what specific sentence means in English. I'm asking about the pattern. M, some quoted text. You've used this exact shape before in a completely different tool. Merge. Not quite. Merge is a different git command. So git commit M, git commit. So we start it up and then we commit it, right? I mean, every day when you run constant, I don't use git as much. Git commit, so starting it up. When you commit, what do you type inside the quotes? Why do you bother waiting? Why do you bother writing anything at all? What's the purpose of that message? Hold on, I know it. Git commit, and then it's the message. I remember this part. It's so annoying. It's literally in my brains. I'm trying to get it out. Oh god. Git commit. We start it up and then we send it. Okay, what was the stuff? I know it. It's a message. It is a message. There we go. Right, it's a message, but why do you write one? What is it for? What does that message let you or anyone look at your Git history later? Actually do. Think about it. You've got dozens of commits in your project by now. If you just saw a list of commits, hashes with no messages, could you tell? Oh, I could not. It is for us to later look at projects and be able to tell them apart. Exactly, it's a human readable label, so future you can scroll through the history and instantly know what each step did without having to reopen and diff every single one. Now, the same exact purpose, different tool, -m, add ID primary key to students in the Alembic command is the same pattern for the same reason as the label. That's the whole M flag, not magic, not unique. It's Alembic. You already knew this pattern. Pull from Git, you just hadn't connected it yet. Pull command one more time now that every piece is understood. -m Alembic revision. I want to go ahead and revise my Alembic auto-generate. Okay, run Alembic through Python. Okay, well, all right. Bypassing path known from last session, revision, create a new migration step, auto-generate, compare models.py blueprint against the real database, reality, auto with the difference. M, human readable label, same job as git commit. Before you run this, plain prediction, no code. What do you think is about to happen when this runs based on everything above? What should this command produce, and when do you expect the output to land? Okay, I predict the command will run successfully, and let's say, think about it. What happens when the command runs? It runs successfully based on everything above. What should this command produce? It should produce a primary key for all the rows in my database. This is not what this is supposed to do. Hold on, that prediction's not quite right. Go back to what we just did. This just compares. Writes down difference as a migration file. Do a revision auto generate actually change your database or something? Does it write something? Oh wait. It does not. It just compares and creates a migration file. Exactly, that's the correct distinction, and it's the one that actually matters, where not the run command and everything fixed, not just run one command and everything fixed, but understanding there are two separate steps, right? The plan, then apply the plan. Revision auto generate is step one only. It writes a migration file, Alembic/version, describing what should change. Nothing in my database gets touched. Alex's row is still 100% untouched at this point, no risk at all. So corrected prediction, this command should run successfully. Produce no visible change to your database, and instead of a new file, Alembic/version containing Python code describing the ID column, changes that will grounded prediction locked in. If yes, go to the terminal and run it. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Then we're gonna go with something like this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and paste this. Alembic at primary key, auto generate. Okay, just compares database, right? It shouldn't compare anything else. Nope, it does. Well, because I made a silly mistake. I'm gonna change my directory to Python files. No script location key found in configurations. Okay. Well, I mean, I kind of know why we got this error too, because I probably did not add my... But we didn't use my password. I'll just send it. Stop, real error, don't panic. This is good debugging material. Let's slow down and actually look why it failed. Before I see what Claude says, I want to read this. No script location key found in configuration, which means my key was not found for my... I did not really provide a key there, to be honest, did I? Hold up. Okay, we just proved script underscore location exists in alembic.ini. You pasted yourself, verified, clean, no typos, so the key isn't missing from the file. Something else is going on. I didn't add my password though. You ran cd python file before running the Alembic command. Think back to when you ran Alembic ini Alembic last session. What folder were you standing in when that command created alembic.ini? Is alembic.ini sitting inside Python files, or is it sitting one level up? It is sitting one level up. That's the bug. You found it yourself from evidence, not from me handing it over. Alembic doesn't search your whole computer for alembic.ini. It only looks in the folders you're standing in your current working directory. When you ran the command, you cd'd into Python files, alembic.ini lives one level higher. This is something you know. Same py file.py only works if you're at the same place. Location sensitive, go back one level. Caution, I've already tried this stuff. I'm gonna copy this part. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah, it is one level higher. It is not in my PyCat. It's not in my Python file. Yep, so it needs to be one level higher. But the thing is, when I run this, I get an error. I'm gonna read the error. So I get an error says password authentication failed. Oh, okay, so I need to give my password. Hold on, I'm gonna change this to be my literal password for a bit. You guys can look at me in my main camera. There we go. I'm gonna change this to my actual literal physical password. There, you guys will not be able to see it anymore, so I'm just gonna get it up here. If I were to go to my gameplay screen, yeah, until I don't scroll down, you guys can't really see it. So that clears half of the stuff out there. I'm gonna go there, and then we're gonna paste that. And bam. Okay, so it was basically that we needed our password. It just needed me to add my... I'll just end it. Worked! Exclamation! Okay, I guess I'm gonna wait for Claude. Progress, you were standing in the right folder this time, and look how much further it got. It actually connected, loaded all the plugins, started doing real work. That's not a fail like the last one. That's different, more specific error. We're deeper in the system now. Read the command. Oh, wait, don't skim. Shoot, my bad. Info alembic.runtime migration context. I'm assuming that's implied. PostgreSQL IMPL. Alembic runtime migration will assume transactional DDL. Alembic runtime plugin setup auto generate. Plugin setup auto generate tables, types, constraints, defaults, comments. Error alembic.util can't proceed with auto generate option. Environment script yada yada blah blah blah. Does not provide a metadata object or a sequence of object to the context. Does not provide metadata or sequence of an object to a context. Okay. Read the actual error line carefully. Don't skim. Neuter metadata object, 0 prior exposure. I'm not expecting you to know this one, so no prediction needed here. This is a brand new group, quick plain language version. Remember, based from your models.py, every one of your table classes student courses inherits from base. That base object secretly keeps track of every table you've defined. That tracking system is the metadata. It's Alembic's word for the master list of what table/column should exist according to the code. Quick language, remember, based from your models.py, every one of your table classes student courses inherits from base. The base object secretly keeps track of every table you've defined. The tracking system. Okay. The error is saying environment.py doesn't know where your base is. The Alembic has no idea your models.py even exists. Nobody ever introduced it to them. This is the config connection problem, not a put problem. One specific line inside inf.py needs to import your base and hand it to Alembic. Before I show you that line, where does your base object actually live right now? What file did you originally define? Base equals to declarative base or similar back in chunk 1. It lives inside of my Python folder. So I basically got to get my alembic.ini inside my Python folder too, right? Good, but I need more specific than that. It lives in the Python folder. Find it. Location on disk. Doesn't automatically mean it can see it. What's the actual file name where base is defined? In models.py. Good, models.py confirmed. That's the file with your base student and courses class. And now we know exactly what needs to get improved into environment.py. Here's the real situation. env.py was auto-generated by Alembic ini, by Alembic init, and has zero idea model.py exists. We need to add two things to the environment. Add an import statement pulling your base from models, handing that base's metadata to Alembic configure on a line that currently says something like target underscore metadata equals to none. This is the file ending in a file you've never opened before, genuinely brand new, nothing to predict from yet, so no prediction step here. We're just going to look at it first. To open your environment.py inside your Alembic folder. In Visual Studio Code, find the line near the top that says target metadata equals to none, and paste a few lines around it. I want to see the real import already sitting on top of that file before we touch it. Open env.py inside your Alembic folder. How? What? Okay, wait. I'm gonna say I did not understand. Hold on. I did not understand. What am I expected to do? Question mark. And where can I find my Olympics folder? And let's go with Olympics folder. No worries, let's slow down all the way. Let's do all the way down. One thing at a time. Where Alembic folder is. Remember alembic.init. Alembic ran successfully last session to create a bunch of stuff. You saw Alembic version, Alembic init, etc. Alembic / was a folder created in the same place as alembic.ini lives, which we just confirmed in your main 365 engineering file. So in Visual Studio Code file. Okay, Explorer sidebar. Look at this thing inside that alembic.ini, the file we already edited, and Alembic folder, not in the ini file. Look in the folder directory. All right. I'm an idiot. It was literally there. I'm gonna copy that. Are you kidding me? Wait, how many lines is this? What the hell? This is like a massive thing, right? There. Found it. Look at this. The file base giving you the answer already. Those three commented out lines are literally a template showing you exactly what to do. My app, my model, just placeholder, fake name, same idea as the driver. User password was a placeholder in alembic.ini. Earlier today, you needed to replace those fakes, name with your real ones. Quick question to check. You're tracking the pattern before you write anything in that commented example. My model is standing in for the last file, okay, and base is being pulled from that file. Based on what you told me 2 messages ago, what's the file name that should replace my model in your version? Models.py. Almost one small catch. In a Python file statement, you don't write py extension when you import a module. Okay, that's fine. So from models.py, import base, or from models import base? Import base. However, my models.py is inside my Python files is folder, and my Alembic folder is outside my Python files this folder. There we go. Exact Excellent catch, and you caught it before running anything, which is exactly the muscle we want. Muscle memory, I think it meant. That's a real legitimate problem, not a false alarm. Let's think through this instead of me handing it to you. End.py lives in 365 days. The engineering Olympic slash end.py model lives in Python files that are they're not sitting next to each other. Models.py is one level down inside a different subfolder. A plane from models import base only works if Python can find models.py in a place it knows to look same folder. Think back to chunk 1 advanced Python when you need to import something from a file that's inside a subfolder rather than sitting right next to you. How does Python import syntax that shows the relationship? What character do you use to go inside a folder? I know. Hold on, I know this one. Hold on. It lets me jump up a file. Wait, I'm thinking. I know this. This is easy. Wait, what was it called? We is it like a backslash? I wanna go one folder up. Was it underscore? Nope. It was period. There we go. Oh god. It is a period. Did I spell period wrong? period. Like dot and dot. Oh my gosh, exactly right. Dot notation for package slash folder paths in Python import. Good recall. Now let's reason through which dots apply here. Not just the dot dots exist, there are two different situations. Single dot means same folder I'm in. Two dots means go up one folder. Okay, so Alembic, we're standing here, Python files. We need to reach this from environment, says position and models. Sitting in the same folder, or does reaching it require going outside Alembic first and then into PY? Say folder, or does it require going out of Alembic first and then into Python files? I believe double dot notation is required. However, I have multiple folders besides just I have multiple folders besides just my Python files. Let's go with something like therefore. Hold on. Therefore, how will I know if I am currently in the right folder? Because I got access to multiple folders. Like I created multiple folders. Like, let me take a quick little picture of this. There we go. Then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say grab plot out here real quick, paste it, and then we're gonna go ahead and send it. Good question and good instinct to double check, since the guessing wrong here means a silent bug that fails in a confusing way later. Let's confirm it visually without screenshot instead of guessing with your from your own screenshot. Look at the sidebar. Alembic and Python files both are shown in the same indentation level, both directly children of 365 AI engineering. that confirms the layout we assumed. M.py has to climb outside Olympic 1 with 2 dots to reach AI engineering and then go inside Python files to find models.py. So yes, dot dot is correct. You reasoned that right. Now translating folder navigation dots into actual Python import syntax has one wrinkle. Python's from X import Y does not use folder slash style dots exactly like Python file. It uses package dot notation. And one extra detail matters here. A folder named Python files has a space in it, which Python import syntax cannot handle at all. Spaces aren't legal in Python identifier slash module names. So before we even write the import line, this is a real structural problem, not just syntax. Can Python import a module out of a folder called Python files? It cannot. With a space as is using normal dotted imported syntax. Think about why a space might break something based on anything you already know about Python names, files, or variables. We cannot have space as a character because we need to, because we are required to do so. And my folder has a space which is legal. However, all my Python files, all my Python file names are separated with a underscore. You've got the core instinct exactly right. Your individual files correctly use dunder like file underscore max.py is underscore anagram.py because you already knew Python identifiers can't have space, but the folder itself is named Python files with a literal space. And that's the piece that breaks dotted import syntax. Python would try to read Python files as import Python import files, as Python import files, as if they're two separate names, okay, yada yada. Rename the folder. Why? So here's the real fork in the road. I want your real read before I tell you which way. There are two puzzle fixes walk around it. There is a Python trick to manually add a folder with a space to the import search. I'll just rename it. There we go. Okay, you know what? Yeah, screw it. Let's just rename it. I'm gonna rename folder. There we go. I just changed this name to Python underscore files. And then I'm gonna paste it and say something like I renamed it. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go to OBS to check if everything is going good. And also, can you guys hear me from this far away? Wait, actually not. I think it's much more clear if I'm closer. Alright. I guess we're gonna be closer now. Confirm Python underscore files underscore sitting in there in the sidebar. Click rename. Okay, real reminder. Wait, I'm now really close. Is this even like something that? Okay, why am I genuinely so close? Okay, now I'm too high. But yeah, that's fine. I can be close and high because I think that this is also not that bad. You know what? I think this may be better somehow if I'm like close and I'm high. Just so squeaky. Okay, confirmed. But I feel like I'm so close to the freaking screen now. I think I gotta push the screen a bit back. There we go. Okay, and then am I really as close? Because I need to be this close for the mic to be crisp, but that's fine. Okay, real reminder, don't skip this. Your terminal is probably still pointed at the old path in its memory if you had a CD in terminal before the rename. if your rename wait, if your next terminal command editor says if your next terminal command editor saying the folder doesn't exist, that's why nothing just broke. We just re-cd'd with a new name. Now back to the actual fix in environment.py. With the space problem gone, standard dotted import syntax works, structure. One more time. I'm gonna get this a bit more back. There we go. 365. The pattern for go up one level, then into a sibling folder and grab name. Oh, so this okay, this makes so much more sense. No wonder Claw was saying that. I thought that we were gonna be adding file path somewhere, and that's why I was like, how in the genuine world does that make sense? Okay, you know what? Never mind. This makes a whole lot of sense now. We're importing using the Python file. I never went through this structure, but I guess we're gonna go through it now. I'm just gonna get the instruction in the other window so I can sort of use it as a reference. And I'm assuming we upload that in our Alembic, right? So I'm gonna go with something like from yada yada. Let's go with something like from dot python underscore files. I want to go ahead and go with dot models. Okay, looking at the code lets me understand what this even means. Till now, I was like, what in the world is Claude even talking about? Import base. Control A, Control C, Control S, and then we're gonna go ahead and let's say grab Claude out here real quick, paste it, and say, now I what? Oh, there. Now I see. I usually understand so much better if I see the physical code. I was so confused before you had given me the code. Later, when I asked for a, let's say, transfer prompt, can you add this small detail as well? Because I understand 100 times better when I see the physical code. Okay, that's it. I added the import. Now what? Oh god. There we go. Guys, I love touch tapping when I'm like in a sync with it. Okay, noted, and that's a genuinely useful thing to know about how you learn a real feedback. Not a smart thing. I'll make sure it's the transfer prompt. 2 things left before this file is actually done. Don't run anything yet. You still have old target underscore metadata equals to none. You import both base into file, but nothing using it yet based on the commented example directly above. What do you think? Target metadata, my model base metadata. What do you think that line needs to become using your real base? So it needs two. It needs to become my students, right? Once you fix that line, we predicted this would go straight running, but real talk, given what you just took a real detour to rename the folder, do you want to try Dunder auto generate again right after this fix, or do you want me to show you both import approaches first like I offered a minute ago? Okay, it says my model and then it says a base. So I can go with something like my model is going to be my student dot base dot data. For question 2, I think that we should try auto generate. Student base close, but let's check that against the actual template one more time, character by character. Target metadata, my model base metadata. In that template, my model is the file module name being swapped for your real file name. And base stays as base. Okay, is your real file name. It's not my model, some class. Okay, it's my model dot base. Base isn't something that lives inside students. They're siblings, both defined directly in models.py students. Okay, students inherit from base, but base itself doesn't live inside students, so swap. So the swap is only one piece my model, whatever your real import brought in, you imported base directly from Python. So in this file, base is already just based on its own prefix. So it should be base dot metadata. There we go. Not quite. You're doubling it. Wait, models.py. Let's isolate this down to the basics. One yes or no at a time. You wrote from .python underscore files dot import base. That import statement brings one name into this file. Base. Just that single word by itself. Question. After that import line runs, if you type the word base alone anywhere else in the env file, does Python understand what that refers to? Yes or no? Yeah, because I import. Of course, that makes sense. It is gonna this thing. Right, so base on its own already means my real base class from models.py. No prefix needed because you imported it directly by name. So the template, my model.base metadata, where my model was the fake stand-in for however you access your model file, collapses down to just base.metadata. Oh, I see. Go update that line based on metadata and then save the file and run the same command as before. Okay, so we're gonna go with something like base because we just imported it, dot metadata for tracking. And then we're gonna go ahead and paste this line up. Oops, I copied the wrong. Okay, so we're gonna paste this again. I'm gonna hit Control S. And then I wanna auto generate it as well again. What is that error this time? Sequence of objects. It says that it still does not produce. You know what? I'm gonna clean that stuff and then we're gonna go with tilde again. I'm gonna paste it. Then we're gonna send it. Okay, I still run into an error. I'm gonna copy this stuff and then we're gonna grab Claude here and say that I get this. Same error, word for word. That's actually useful. It means whatever you fixed didn't fix this problem. So upstream is still broken. Let's not re-guess randomly. Let's trace this error. It says target metadata isn't reaching Alembic as a real metadata object. There are only few possible reasons. Either the file doesn't save or the input itself is silently falling. Real possibility I flagged earlier, and you chose to skip it. Relative imports from .python underscore files model import base are known to behave badly, specifically when a script gets run. The way Alembic runs in env.py, it doesn't always execute a proper package, so it can silently fail or error in a way that isn't loud. Quick diagnostics don't change anything, just answer when you saved env.py and ran the command. Did you get any error? import relative env.py. I've never ran env.py. Uh, Hold on. I guess you guys are gonna go to my main camera and just gawk at me for a bit. I'm gonna change my password from here real quick. Okay, where in the genuine world do I need to change my password from? I forgot. There's no way I forgot. Wait. Oh wait, that was an Olympic, right? Oh, my bad, my bad. Never mind, never mind, never mind. You guys can get back to my gameplay screen. My bad. Oops. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say grab Cloud here real quick, and then we're gonna paste it and then send it. That file itself is correct from this thing and target. Both are exactly right. Say properly. This confirms the bug isn't what you typed in the relative import mechanism. It's exactly what I flagged it as risky before. You chose to try it anyway, which was reasonable call. Real editors do teach better, and now we have a real proof the actual failure. Here's why the specific error hides an import failure. Alembic wraps the execution of env.py in its own try/except internally, and this swallows the real Python traceback in some cases, showing you the symptom no metadata reached. Instead of the clause you import silently failed, your input silently failed. That's a genuinely confusing, non-obvious failure mode, not something you could have reasoned out of the first from the first principles. So no faults in missing. Time to switch to the more standard, more reliable approach I mentioned earlier, manually adding the path with sys.path. Okay. So zero concept prior exposure, so I'll teach this directly rather than Socratically. Sys.path is a list in Python check. Whenever you write import something, it's literally the list of folders Python is willing to search right now. Python underscore file isn't that list, so even a plain from models import base would fail with a normal module not found error. We fix that by manually adding Python underscore files to that list at the very top of env.py before any of your own imports run. The two lines that replace your current from Python underscore files. Oh, I see. Okay. Go ahead and swap your current relative import line with this. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy that stuff for now. There we go. Even though import sys and import OS needs to go in the very top, this isn't compulsory, but I like to do it this way. OS usually I would prefer going before sys, but it's the same thing to be honest. It doesn't make a difference. Info error failed. Okay, I get the same error. Copy paste the real output. Also, I was just curious as to knowing how close are we to done with this topic. This phase 1. Okay. Same error a third time, but pump the brakes on assuming it's the same cause. Real debugging discipline. Identical error does not automatically mean identical root cause. Let's verify issue. Paste me the real current full context A and V from top to bottom again, exactly as those things. Your question, you're not close on concept, but there is a real work left on execution. This metadata connects is actually working. The rest of phase 1 is run this migration, generate command, successfully apply it for real against my database, verify ID primary key, then finish chunk 5, enrollments plus relationships. That's genuinely the last stretch, but we're not there yet. This error. Whoa. This error is still between you and Project One, okay? I mean, I'm not kind of pushing it because I don't want to like rush through this stuff, but again, I do want to be done by this stream. Also, because I'm burning up right now. What the hell? This file looks structurally correct. The sys.path.append line is in the right place. From models.import base is clean. Target underscore metadata equals to base dot metadata is right. So the file isn't obviously broken. That means we need to stop guessing, add a file, and go to real evidence. Here's the problem with Limbic right now. It's hiding real traceback. From behind that generic doesn't provide a metadata object message. We need to bypass Limbic entirely and test the import directly in isolation so we can see the real Python error. If there is one, diagnostics. Step 1, not the real fix, just a test. Open a Python terminal or a throwaway linear that mimics exactly what env.py is trying to do from the exact same working directory. You're running a limbic from, okay, run this in it. This does the same appending, okay. I get metadata there. I think it's a silly mistake, I can't even lie. I think, I'll safe to say that until we're really messing up. Big piece of information right there, metadata printed cleanly. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure there's something like a silly mistake that we're doing or something that it's too easy for us. Maybe like a typo, I don't know. This.path, all of it works perfectly. No bug in your code at all. The problem is proven to be somewhere outside m.py. I think it's the two dots is the issue. We need to look more into that. Python's logic entirely, so walk back with me. If the exact same problem import logic works fine standalone but fails specifically when Olympic runs, what's the difference between those two situations? One key fact from earlier today, don't forget I mentioned Olympic runs m.py in an unusual way and it can sometimes swallow real errors. New idea. This is worth checking directly rather than me asserting it when you did. When did you last save Alembic.ini itself versus m.py? Also, genuinely, is it possible? Is there a chance you have two Python environments involved? I do have two Python environment variables involved. Environment. Because when I was working with pandas, I could not use CP1252. Instead, I needed UTF-8. Huh. That's it. That's a real legitimate lead on a good memory pulling that back. Two separate Python environments existing is exactly the kind of thing that causes work standalone fails inside a tool bug like this. Let's confirm it. Run this, it'll tell you exactly which Python executable is actually running when you type py. Pip show me a limbic. Okay, we're at python.exe. And then pip show me a limbic. Okay, location. Okay, I could not understand this place, but I'm gonna copy this and then we're gonna grab Claude here and then paste it. Well, I guess I'm gonna wait for Claude to think. Rules out clean. Both py and Alembic are living in the same environment. Python core. Okay, side pack. So that wasn't a good hypothesis to test though. That's exactly the right thing. Run this command. Okay, I guess we're just running a bunch of commands. Those internally. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and paste this. Oh wow. Look. Failed to proceed. Wow, that's a bunch of things that I got, like a bunch of errors. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and copy that, grab plot here, and then I'm gonna paste this. Guys, this has never been so tedious. Huge, this is real actionable evidence now. Great call running Razor. I literally just copied it as a genuinely useful diagnostic tool, now permanently in our toolbox. No hidden Python crash at all. The import isn't failing. m.py runs top to bottom clean all the way to run underscore migrations underscore online, executing successfully. The error is coming from a completely different place than we assume. Look at this line specifically. So line 380, dunder init raise util.command error. This error is being thrown inside of Limbix's own internal code at the exact moment it tries to build something called auto gen context. This isn't your import, your based on metadata line runs fine. We already proved that standalone. There's a real question. The real question now is target underscore metadata actually empty slash unpopulated when a limbic checks it, even though based on metadata object itself exists. Here's the key inside, and this connects to something you already have know based on metadata just isn't just does the object exist. It's a container that only knows about tables that have actually been defined via classes that inherit from specific base. Think back to chunk 5. You build student and course as classes inheriting from base and models.py. Well, question, is there any chance m.py is this base and model.py is this actual class definition? Student course is somehow not the same base object, for example. Could there be a second base defined somewhere, or is it possible student and courses aren't actually being imported at all? Look at this thing. Does it import student and courses too, or only base? Wait, it literally, okay, if here it imports everything, and then in my sessions we import like everything. You know what? Control A, control this thing. I'm gonna copy this, and then actually screw that. I'm gonna take a quick little picture. That is pick number 1. We're gonna go ahead and paste it, and then this is gonna be pick 2, pick 3. Okay, that is actually picture number 2 or screenshot number 2, and then this is our here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that, and then this is our engine. Because I don't know specifically where Claude is actually asking me if like everything does exist, but these are the 4 crucial files out here. I'm gonna wait for her to reply. Hold on, real scrutiny first before anything else. Image4 engine create, that's your real password. It is not my real password. Hello, it is I, the one that is still under observation. Oh, I see. By the new profile picture does look kind of cool. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. No, it is not a real password. It is just my placeholder. Whoops, hold on. There we go. That is not my real password. And also, I am so confused. We are working a lot with this. However, I believe that the problem should be something simple that we are not thinking of. And now, just to add an extra touch to it, I'm going to change that to max. By the way, Limbic plus SQLAlchemy is a very good combination. Check it out. Great ORM with perfect migration to database. I see. It's Vegeta, bro, from Dragon Ball Z. Actually, that's why I was like, it looks kind of cool, to be honest. Because, in case you guys did not know, Dragon Ball Z was, or still is one of, well, I wouldn't say is, it's up there in one of my most favorite animes. It's category. A matter of fact, it was the first hero anime that I ever watched as well. I watched every single season at least 19 times. Besides the Diema, which is the latest one, I did not have time to watch that. Okay, good. And also GT. I didn't watch GT more than like 6 times because I didn't like it as much. I mean, it's not like I didn't like it. What are you doing? I am actually working on Olympic today and also working on my chunk 5 and chunk 6 of my phase 1 in my AI engineering for 365 days, where I need to be done with relationships and aggregations and migrations. Once I'm done with those 3 topics, I will be moving on to my mini project 1, where I will be building a fully automated web scraper. And then I'm going to move on to phase 2, which is math and machine learning. That's it, good. Glad it was in real, and appreciate you telling me directly than assuming. Okay. Take link passwords, setting open people's live stream, we're double checking. And you're right to feel the instinct. It should be simple. We're missing it. Usually correct in debugging. Let's try cracking new fixes and go back to the basics. Here's something I should have asked earlier, and I didn't in image 3. Look at line 12 from models import base. That import works fine in n.py. We already proved that standalone with your py-c test. But here's a detail worth double checking directly, since it's easy to overlook. Is environment.py's sys.path.append line actually pointing to the same models.py? The one with student and courses? Or could it be a second different models.py somewhere else in your machine getting picked up first? I don't think so. I don't think so. Run this in your terminal. Okay, yeah, I do not think so, because I just have one MODELS, and is this spelled as MODELS? Yeah, it's like literally the same thing. Very nice. Then you're probably excited like me for new Dragon Ball Super series. Wait, is it actually coming? I thought that Akira Toriyama, he actually died, and like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super was not gonna get any other series or any more series. And I forgot to add the sir before the name. Ruled out 2, correct file, correct path, no duplicates, good. Another possibility eliminated. Okay, let's actually stop and reread the error one more time slowly, because I think we've been treating it as the import failed this whole time. But let's check that assumption against the exact wording. Does not prove a metadata object or a sequence object to context. To the context, not to target underscore metadata. That's a specific technical word. Context is Alembics' own internal object. You've literally seen it from Alembic import context. Right there in m.py, this error might not be about your import or your variables at all. It might be about whether target underscore metadata ever actually gets handed to context.configuration when the script runs. Look back at image 3, scroll down mentally to run underscore migrations underscore offline and run underscore migrations underscore online. Both functions reference target underscore metadata as variables inside them. Here's the real question in Python. When a function refers to a variable that isn't passed in as parameter, where does Python look it for? Simple, genuine question, no trick. If target metadata is defined at the top of the file, run underscore migrations. Actually, let's not theorize further. Let's get definitive real proof. Add one line temporary right after target underscore metadata equal to that, and then print debug target. Okay. Save it and then run this stuff in the terminal. Okay, wait, which was the part again? Hold on. I'm so excited. Yes, it is. They're renewing Old Super Original and then creating granola. No way they're adding granola arc. Oh god, I'm actually kind of excited for that. I'm also excited for the actual Moreau arc, but then again, I thought that it's never gonna be animated. What the hell? Okay, I have to go by and keep observing me. Honestly, I appreciate you joining the stream. I'll catch you next stream, Ganazos. Okay, let's see. But guys, it's actually kind of crazy knowing that they're actually gonna add the granola arc and the Moro arc. And then maybe we'll get... Okay, I'm not... Wait, was that... Okay, I almost gave a spoiler. What the hell? I gotta pay more attention as to what I'm saying. And also, I mean, the arcs names are, I think it's fine, but like, shouldn't say what's inside in case we read the manga. And in case you guys did not know, I have a bunch of Dragon Ball Supers and mangas with me right now. Okay, let's see, let's see. Base.metadata. Okay, we just add a print statement here. Hit Control S to save the code, and then we're gonna go ahead and copy that, and then we're gonna go ahead and paste this and send it. Debug target metadata is. Do I see debug target metadata? I do not. It's. I can't wrap my head around what is the thing that's wrong here. No, that's the answer right there, and it's bigger. It's the biggest clue we've had all session. Your print debug target metadata target is never printed, not printed none, not printed somewhere word. It never appeared at all. Zero debugging. Think about what that actually means if that line code never ran and the whole file, top to bottom, is not being executed at all when Olympic runs revision auto generated. Not the import fails, not the variable is wrong, the file itself isn't loading auto generate. The Not the important fields, not the variable is wrong. The file itself isn't loading, which means every fix we made inside env.py today was correct. But irrelevant because Olympic was never actually reading this file in the first place. That file renames everything. This isn't a Python logic bug anymore. It's a configuration slash writing problem. Olympic doesn't know this environment.py is the one to run. Well, question for you. Thinking back earlier today, remember Olympic.ionizes script underscore location? The one the one we verified was correct. That line tells Olympic which folder to treat as its whole operating home, including where to find m.py. Given we're running that command from AI 365 AI engineering, confirmed correct folder and script location points at hashtag year slash Olympic. Does Olympic slash genuine Olympic slash environment.py genuinely exist at that exact path, or is there any chance you have two file environment.py files somewhere inside Olympic version by mistake or leftover? Look at your sidebar images, slide 3 again. Is there an Alimbi typo, not C sitting anywhere alongside your Alimbic folder? I did do that. Oh my. How the genuine one did I forget this existed? What? I should have gone with the environment in my Olympic. Why did I go with the? Okay, how did I not see that? Am I just stupid, guys? Do I like should I just add a nerd filter in my face permanently or something, or like should I add that like a settings or not a settings as an overlay or something over my actual window? How did I not notice that it said Olympia not Olympic? Isn't that like the third thing in the book? Sitting right next to each other, both real folders on disk, that leftover typo from day 6 never got cleaned up. I forgot to delete that stupid thing. Oh my gosh. There's no way you fix text inside Olympic.ini script location. Verified correct, but never actually leftover folder. Okay, from the mistyped, actually on disk. Okay, blah blah blah. Here's the real question before you touch anything. Is the LMB folder holding anything valuable, or is it 100% dead weight? Well, well, well. Man, what was that stuff? Oh my gosh. No, I'm not sending that stuff. That is LMB. I need to go with Olympic. That has the PyCache, that has the version, model. This is what my LMB has consists of. And this is what my Olympic consists of. Okay, I guess we're gonna go to the Olympic. Control A, Control C, and then I'm just gonna go up here. Yeah, because you see it says Olympian Olympic. Yeah, I should just quit by now, right? What the hell? Confirm this exactly it. Undeniable proof. What did I say? What did I say about these silly mistakes? What in the genuine world did I say about these silly mistakes? Always I run into this error because of these silly mistakes. Look at these two files side by side. The first block you pasted. Okay, the real patch. Olympic has been in the second one. Olympic has been running in the second one. The broken decoy. This is a genuinely real subtle bug, the kind that happens on actual projects to actual engineers. Real question, we touched anything? The typo, hold on to anything you need, like real migration files or its versions, nothing. It is dead. Wait, besides the new content that we added, like the import, etc. But that confirms that the only real context anywhere is what we built today, and that all life lives, blah blah blah. Okay. So we delete our LMB. I'm gonna make sure it's LMB. I'm not making that mistake again. Damn. After we delete the folder, now we're in Alembic. In Alembic, we're gonna paste that stuff, and then we're gonna do this. And now I get this error because I did not add any imports. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and paste this. Enter. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and paste this. Hold on, same error again, and now look closely with debug. Your current file says it's target underscore meta, no imports, no debugs. That's the old state, broken content again. The exact same thing. LMB, environment, okay. First, look in your sidebar. Is LMB typo still there or is it gone? Second, regardless of the answer, click directly on Olympic environment, first tab, okay. I am doing that. I've got Olymp now. I mean Olympic now. Yeah, did it, but in order for that code to run, we need to import from models.py again and add the base.metadata. Well, progress on the diagnostic, but hold on, look very carefully at your sidebar. LMB, the typo is gone. Now confirm. Good, that's actually deleted, but Olympic environment editor right now shows target underscore metadata, none from my app. Import model is still connected. No debug. This is the real correct only environment.py on your left entire disk right now, and it's still blank, unedited version. Here's what I think actually happened, and I want to verify it rather than just take my word. All out of today's real edit sys.path.append from models import base. The debug print were made inside a limb slash environment, the type of folder the whole time, not a limbic. You were editing the decoy entire session, realizing it, okay? That would perfectly explain the symptoms today. That exact the error never changed, the debug print never showed, and the decoy is gone. We're starting at honest original still blank file. Does that match what you remember by clicking m.py in all tab sessions? Either way, the fix is straightforward and we know how to fix it. Okay, reapply Olympic environment. Import sys, import os, sys.path. So this is .path, target metadata. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and import OS. And then we're gonna go ahead and import sys. And then I'm gonna go ahead and import dot python underscore files models. Okay, how did I spell the models? models dot py. Uh-uh. Nope, 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 nope. This is gonna be from. And then we just fix our basic stuff. This is gonna be base dot metadata. And then what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Da, da, da. Nothing else? Nothing else actually? Just that? Okay, and then we're gonna paste it and say here. Hold up, don't run this. There's a real syntax problem in line 3, okay? And then issue. So import this. This is the top import base. So from models, import base. Sys OS. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy this. I did not have the patience really think this part through for now. Okay, and then I'm gonna paste this here and then say done. Okay. It worked. But again, I don't really take credit for it working like I did anything out here. I will be working more on this thing later on in the upcoming phases. Yeah, I'm so exhausted to even say anything. What the hell? There it is. I'm not even going to read half the stuff here. Look at that. So open the generated file. I'm assuming we have to paste this. Oh, wait, what the hell? Wait, what did Cloud say? Okay, but here's the real question and what you actually look for. Then I did this entire thing, students, specifically about the missing ID column, the entire reason we started this whole migration in the first place. Go open the generated files, paste me the real contents. We need to verify. Okay, ID changed here. Wow. Fine. Always, I guess. There we go. Wait, this is something similar to what I've done. A new file has been generated. What the hell? Oh wow, a new file was created. And that is this safe to show on stream question mark? Good catch asking. Before pasting it, is it 100% safe to show on stream? No password, no credentials. Okay. Look at what's actually an upgrade. Okay, we got courses, only courses. There is nothing. Real question. And think back to what auto generate actually does. We build this together entirely. It compares your models, blueprints, real live database. If it detected courses, okay, and not create that stuff. What does this tell you about current real state of your students is stable in my data? Oh god. Okay, real question, and think back to what Dunter Auto Generate actually does. It creates a migration for us. We built this together earlier. It compares your models, blueprint against real life data. If it detects courses as new because it doesn't exist in that database yet, but did not detect anything change needed on students. What does that tell you? But it did not detect any change needed on students. What that tell you about the current real state of your students is stable in my database, specifically about whether it already has the ID column or not. Wait, what do you mean? Huh. Good, let's break this down into something smaller. Remember the whole point of Dunder Auto Generate? It looks at two things. Yeah, it compares my models.py and it creates a migration. What model.py says the table should look like, the blueprint, what the real database actually has right now, the reality. It found a different it found a different it found a difference for course blueprint for course. Blueprint has it. Database doesn't create this table. It found zero difference for students. No mention of it anywhere in that file. Here's the direct question. If hyphen auto generate compares blueprint versus reality and finds no difference on students, does that mean the blueprint and the real database already match each other? Yes or no? Here's the difference. I think, yeah, they should match. Right, so if they already match, that means one of two things, and this is the part worth pinning down from. Either your models.py blueprint for students still say name is the primary key, matching what really is in the database, meaning we never actually added ID column to the student class in the code yet, or the database somehow already got an ID column some other way, given everything we did today. Did we open model.py and actually edit students class itself to add an ID column? Think back through this whole session. We edited olympic.ini, okay. Not this session, but we did touch our stuff and add a freaking nope. All my blind imagination. It's always been my imagination. We have not. Guys, it's always been my imagination. Last stream I thought I deleted my LMB. Yeah, Olympic without the C, it's LMB. I thought I deleted my LMB. I thought that I added my ID column. I didn't do squat. Exactly right, and now it's proven. Maybe because last stream all I was doing is reading chats here because I wasn't told to do anything there. Look at line name string mapped. It's still the primary key. Did I not save it? I remember doing it though. What the hell? Student still has name as the primary key with zero ID column detained. This is identical to what's actually sitting in your real my database right now. Blueprint matches reality perfectly on students, which is exactly why hyphen auto generate found nothing to report here. It's not broken. It's doing its job correctly. It has nothing to compare against yet because we spent this entire session fighting m.py's configuration and never once told models.py what the near desired structure should be. This is actually a good clean inside hyphen auto generate only detects a change if you change a blueprint first. It doesn't invent the change for you. It just notices when code and database disagree. So here's the real next step. And it's genuinely simple compared to everything we just fought through. Edit students in model.py to add a proper increment ID. Same pattern you already used on courses. Remove primary key true from name. ID will take over that job before you write it. Plain words based on how you built courses ID. Oh, I built an ID for my courses. ID mapped equals to map column. What do you think the corrected student class needs line by line? Tell me. It literally needs the same exact line. ID, and then my data type is going to be integer. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this. And then I'm going to set that equal to map to underscore column. This function helps me or allows me or lets me to literally map or organize a column inside of my database, which is going to be my primary key. And I remove my primary key check from my names this variable. Exactly right. Both pieces correct. Reason to it. Okay, I just typed this out, so there's no shot I'm typing this out again. We're gonna remove this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add comma here, and then we're gonna paste it, and then we're gonna hit Control S to save the code, and then we're gonna run exactly what Claude told me to run in the terminal. There we go. Failed. Wait. It says that it's not up to date now. Hold on. It says that it is that database is not up to date now. Huh. New editor real one and is actually a good sign in disguise. This means Olympic is now doing its job properly. It's tracking state correctly. Let's think about why. It's saying this instead of panicking. Here's the concept genuinely new. Olympic doesn't just generate migration files, it also tracks inside your real database itself which migration have already been officially applied. Remember the two-step stuff you deleted, yada yada, py real migration file that Olympic already has generated. Olympic auto generates step checks. Is there an existing migration chain I should be building on top of? And does my version folder match what I expect? If a file if a file it was tracking disappeared, or if the database's own internal migration tracking record expects something that's no longer there, it refuses to proceed rather than risk generating something broken. Quick diagnostic question before I explain further. When you deleted that old course only migration file, did you ever actually run it? The apply step against our real database, or did we only ever generate it and never apply it? Before I explain further, when you deleted that old courses only migration file, did you ever actually run it? Then apply step against your real database, or did we only ever generate it? I think that we also ran it. However, I am not 100% sure. Hmm. Good honest, okay, I'm not reading that whole thing. Olympic keeps a record of these stored stuff. Select asterisks from Olympic version. Couldn't we have done this in the very beginning? Uh. Alright, so Olympic version is not there. Well, I mean, it is there. But I'm just so exhausted here. What the hell? Good catch on an error, but it's the ones, okay, PSQL. Yeah, I'm just basically gonna paste this and not even read it. Good, you are in my database. It confirms real PostgreSQL session. I see a stray. Okay, that was a mistake. Oh, wait a minute. Select asterisk. Nope, we got it. Yeah, this is me just being exhausted and trying to fix the error, even though I know I should actually learn something from it. Know for certain instead of guessing Olympic version table exists, 0 rows. I know it exists. Go back to your regular PowerShell terminal, then type \q and PSQL to exist, PostgreSQL. \q to quit PostgreSQL. Okay, and now we're in the regular one. Then look inside Olympic version, how many files are actually in there right now. I want to see. I mean, we got 3 files in there, so that's nice. We got 3 files. Version folder is collapsed in the screenshot, so I can't see the 3 files. Click the arrow next to it. Wait up. Oh, bad. That's on me. I mean, yeah, I am sort of exhausted. What the hell? Because I just came from college as well before I started streaming. Founded the old dead file sitting there, fully explains it. There's the blah blah blah. Delete this. Confirm and verify. Refresh the folder view of collapse re-explained version to confirm it's actually gone before we move on. We got burned once today, trusting the and I deleted it. Did you delete the file from inside PyCatch or from the version directly? Click out the version, not PyCatch folder, zero sum. Go and look at the parent. Okay, you know what? Who cares? Uh-oh. Fine, let's delete both. Oh no. Did I just delete both? What the hell? Uh-oh. Do we need to rewind the stream? But version is collapsed in this view. The arrow points not down. I genuinely can't see what's inside the screen. Are you kidding me? It's not. It's not collapsed. Wait, it is not collapsed. It shows this. And then where is the looking down one? Never used that in my keyboard. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find something. Oh, wow. We don't have that option in our keyboard. Like, I want this, but the down one. This, but the points down. Thanks for the correction. Right to push back, and that's my is my mistake. There we go. So we got our version out here. Oh, how exhausting. Clean, undeniable, real evidence version contains the PyCat. Okay, run this. Alright. Alrighty. There it is, real info Olympic. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, and then we got all that. Don't celebrate moving fast, same discipline. Open the file and paste the real contents before we verify it. Wait, what file? Uh-uh. Damn, it actually creates a file. Oh god, there's so much information here, but I'm not really worried much because I know later on in the upcoming phase we will be working a lot more with this to get practice. This is just for me getting an exposure. You're on the right, trusting it, and catch this matter looks exactly at this line. OP at underscore column, students essay column, ID, essay integer, nullable equals false. This is legitimate. Here's the question. Does this migration tell the database what value to put in ID for Alex's already existing row? Look at that line closely. Is there any default values, any starting number, anything at all specified for existing rows, or does it just say this column must never be empty? This column must never be empty. Exactly, you spotted the real gap. It sets the rules. Nullable equals false, no empty values allowed, but gives zero instructions for what values existing rows should get. If we ran this exactly as is Postgres, would hit Alex. Okay, trying to run nothing. This is well known Olympic. Auto-generate limitation, not something you did wrong. Auto-generate is smart about structure, yada yada. Real question for you. To reason through, since you already have the concept from earlier, ID mapped, ID. Okay, and auto-generate increment integer, what should happen to Alex's row specifically? Should Alex manually get assigned some specific number, or is there a more standard automatic way integer? Primary key usually works their values based on what you already know about ID columns, how they normally work. Alex should be assigned a specific number. That's a reasonable instinct, but let's pressure it and test again. Something you already know. Think back to courses, ID column, and how you describe primary underscore key equals to true. Integers earlier today you ran. You specifically corrected yourself on the exact point. Primary key equals to true doesn't generate a value. It just enforces uniqueness on what's given. But for integer primary keys, specifically databases almost pair that with something called auto increment. Postgres calls it a serial or identity column, meaning the database itself hands out 1, then 2, then 3 automatically without a human ever typing a number. So here's the question: if Alex is the only row in the table and integer IDs typically auto increment starting from 1, does it make more sense for you to hand pick Alex's number? Or the database just automatically assigns it as natural first value the same way it would be around the future? The database would automatically assign a number for Alex, which will be 1. And also, this is going to be Alex. Exactly right, and that's the correct mention method. Auto increment isn't something you do. So now we know the migration file is incomplete. Not wrong exactly. It correctly detected an ID column, but it doesn't automatically know to make it auto incrementing when applied to a table that already has data. This is a real normal thing experienced engineers do constantly, hand editing an auto generated migration before applying it. That's actually where the file has that comment it in. That comment is a limbic itself telling you I did my best, but review and adjust this by hand, not a bug, a built-in expectation. The real fix needs SA column, ID, SA integer, auto increment true, nullable false instead of what's currently there. So we just need to add the auto increment equals to true. But there's one more subtlety with adding an auto increment column to a table that already has a row in Postgres specifically, and I want to walk you through why you edit anything. Quick check first. Are you feeling okay to keep going on this thread now, or do you want a short breather? This next part requires a real focus since we're about to hand edit migration code before touching a real database. I mean, I have been streaming for 2 hours straight. Oh. However, I wanted to be done with chunk 5 and chunk 6 today. If I do stop today, will we be done by next stream question mark? Because I think we're done with the hard part, like the solving stuff. I mean the errors. Real fair question, and let's answer it honestly instead of me just cheerleading. And yes, we'll definitely make it where we actually are right now. The hard part of chunk 6, the entire m.py configure nightmare, the decoy folder, the whole metadata wall is genuinely done and behind us. What's left is comparatively lighter lift. Hand edit this one migration. Make ID incremented. Learn the apply command. Okay, realistically, if you If you are fresh and focused, there'll probably a full remaining session worth of work, not a quick 15 minutes stack. Chunk file relation syntax is real new material, not just cleanup, pushing through right now after 2 hours. Start on the riskiest step. Is the riskiest step editing migration. I want to stop here with the file identified and the fix understood but not typed is a clean, safe stopping point. Nothing been applied. Nothing's at risk. And the next session starts with a cleaner, concrete next action instead of a vague momentum you called though. Alright, so I guess next session it is. Let me go to my main camera. Alright guys, so that was pretty much it for the stream. I know it was like I'm gonna be done with chunk 5 and chunks things, but apparently that was a whole lot of thing, even to understand these stuff. That said, I did not completely understand it, but I am positive later on in the series, in the upcoming phases, I will be working with them at a more advanced level. That's where I'm going to be getting a lot of hands-on practice. That said, if you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe with notifications turned on, and if you guys do enjoy my content slash live streams, make sure to share my channel as well. Because like helps my algorithm, sharing makes it fun, and subscribing to get you on top. That said, I will start multi-streaming on several platforms such as Twitch, Kick, Trovo, Instagram, TikTok. I think those are pretty much it. Instagram and TikTok specifically, if I did meet the followers requirements. So if you guys did enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. You guys can get access to my social through the link in the description, through my bio, or by typing exclamation in the name of the social on chat. That said, if you guys do want to follow me in my AI Engineering for 365 Days series, and that you guys want the roadmap that I'm currently using for this series, you guys can join my Discord server and either go to the Coding Helps Us chat, Python chat, or the general chat. Mention my name there at VivUniverse, asking me for my roadmap. I will be personally DMing it to you guys after the stream, which will be ending in a few minutes. That said, I did create 2 new channels, one called Viv Arcade and the other called Viv Works Out. Viv Arcade is specifically meant for my gaming content, and Viv Works Out is specifically meant for my workout content. Therefore, if you guys are interested in either one of those genres or categories and that you guys want to follow me there, you guys can get access to both those channels through my homepage. If you guys scroll all the way down, there will be a featured channels a section where I will be featuring both those channels. So you guys can go ahead and follow me there as well. That said, I'll catch you guys next live stream or video. Peace. Okay, I guess let's end the stream.